Hello and welcome to the Insights and Motivation YouTube podcast. Yes, this is an AI-generated content, but remember, there was a human at the beginning of it, creating and curating this material with care and purpose. I request you, dear listener, to step aside from any bias and listen to the message itself. Take the message, not the messenger. That is the key. The same is true for the rest of the playlists and podcasts on this channel, each designed to inspire thought, dialogue, and transformation. Now let me begin the podcast. Economic and work culture-preserving applications of democratic principles. Economic and work culture is the engine of society. It reflects how communities view labor, entrepreneurship, wealth, and consumption. Work ethics, punctuality, innovation, and trade not only shape prosperity, but also define dignity, fairness, and social mobility. In schools, introducing democratic principles into economic and work culture teaches students how to balance productivity with justice, creativity with responsibility, and prosperity with inclusivity. 1. Equality and inclusivity in schools. Why work culture matters. Societies often create hierarchies around types of labor: manual versus intellectual, traditional crafts versus modern professions. Equality means valuing all forms of work. Cultural lenses, examples. India, ancient Vedic emphasis on karma yoga, work as duty with dignity for all professions, but caste divisions historically restricted certain work. East Asia, Confucian work ethic stressing discipline and respect for authority. Europe, Protestant work ethic emphasizing punctuality, hard work, and thrift. Africa, communal work systems where collective farming or craft supports the entire community. Middle East, bazaar and trade culture where entrepreneurship thrives. Practical cultivation, curriculum parity, highlight carpentry, weaving, farming, and coding as equally dignified. Skill fairs, showcase traditional crafts alongside robotics. Inclusive internships, opportunities for all students regardless of background. Recognition, awards not just for academic excellence, but also for teamwork, responsibility, and innovation. Thought 2. Freedom and rights. Why work culture matters. Students must have the freedom to explore careers and entrepreneurial paths beyond family or societal expectations. Practical cultivation. Policy, ensure career counseling that includes both traditional and emerging fields. Projects, encourage entrepreneurial experiments, small student businesses, innovation fairs. Choice, freedom to choose vocational streams without stigma. Expression, allow creative business pitches in diverse cultural frameworks. Tribal barter systems, Vedic Artha principles, modern startups. 3. Rule of law and accountability. Why work culture matters. Economic fairness requires consistent rules against exploitation, favoritism, or corruption. Practical cultivation, fair labor rules. Students learn about labor rights, minimum wage, and safe work conditions. Accountability in projects, equal division of roles with transparent evaluation. Anti-corruption education, teach how bribery or favoritism erodes collective prosperity. Simulation, mock business or cooperative societies with contracts and due process. Hashtag 4, participation and representation. Why work culture matters. Prosperity thrives when all voices, including marginalized communities, contribute to decision-making. Practical cultivation, cooperative models, student councils run school stores or event budgets democratically. Rotational leadership, different groups lead economic simulations. Representation, spotlight women entrepreneurs, tribal artisans, and small-scale innovators alongside big industrialists. Curriculum, teach entrepreneurship through both Silicon Valley startups and local family businesses. Hashtag 5. Transparency and truthfulness. Why work culture matters. Opacity in money, trade, or resource distribution creates inequality. Transparency fosters trust. Practical cultivation, open budgeting, publish how school event funds are used. Transparent grading, criteria clear for work-based projects. Truth in trade, simulate trading exercises with open pricing, fair deals, and reflection on exploitation versus fairness. Case studies show both ethical business models, cooperatives, fair trade, and exploitative systems. Header 6, deliberation and dialogue. Why work culture matters. Debates about work ethics, wealth, and consumption are value-driven. Dialogue teaches balance. Practical cultivation. Class debates. Is innovation more important than tradition? Is wealth individual or collective? Role play. Simulate town hall debates on taxation, trade, or wages. Dialogue circles compare proverbs on work from different cultures, e.g. Indian Udyogam Purusha Lakshanam, industry is man's virtue, African Ubuntu-based sayings, Western time is money. Reflective exercises. Students journal on what work means in their families. 7. Checks, balances, and power sharing. Why work culture matters. Economic life is prone to exploitation by those with more power or resources. Checks prevent inequity. Practical cultivation. Student cooperatives. Shared ownership of projects with democratic decision-making. Power audits. Track who dominates group projects. Rotate responsibilities. Feedback systems. Peer evaluations ensure no one exploits others' labor. Shared profits. In student businesses, earnings are divided fairly among all contributors. There are 8. Civic education and awareness. Why work culture matters. Prosperity is tied to civic responsibility, taxes, trade fairness, and economic justice. Practical cultivation. Mock taxation. Students run simulations with taxation, welfare funds, and budget allocations. Service learning. Link labor to social good. Community farming, charity kitchens, or recycling projects. Trade studies. Show how geography and climate shape food, spice, and commodity trade. Global perspective. Compare barter systems, Vedic Artha concepts, Islamic banking, and capitalist markets. 9. Social justice and equity. Why work culture matters. Historically, many groups were excluded from economic participation by caste, class, race, or gender. Democracy demands repair. Practical cultivation. Scholarships and mentorship for first-generation learners and marginalized entrepreneurs. Equity projects. Spotlight women-led and minority-owned business case studies. Work dignity campaigns teach that sanitation workers, farmers, and artisans deserve equal respect as corporate leaders. Curriculum audit. Ensure history lessons include suppressed economic contributions, tribal trade networks, women's unpaid labor, traditional farmers. Tomorrow morning, micro practices. Start class with a proverb on work from different cultures. Let students vote on how to spend a small budget for class supplies. Create rotating team manager roles in projects. Post a work values charter in classrooms. Celebrate one Labor Dignity Day per term. Minimal Policy Kit. 1. Work Equity Charter. All forms of labor respected. 2. Transparent Budget Policy. 3. Fair Trade and Business Ethics Code. 4. Inclusive Career Guidance Policy. 5. Annual Work Culture Audit. Assessment Accountability. Gender, caste, and group diversity in leadership roles. Student feedback on fairness in group projects. Set of curricula covering both traditional and modern economic practices. Number of entrepreneurial projects initiated by underrepresented students. Decrease in stereotypes about labor roles. Culture-specific examples. India, Vedic-rooted. Teach karma yoga, work as sacred duty, and artha, rightful pursuit of prosperity. Highlight village crafts, agricultural cycles, and trade routes of spices and textiles. Connect Vedic emphasis on balance, earning wealth ethically, sharing through dana, and avoiding greed to modern ideas of sustainable economics. Japan, samurai work ethic of discipline evolved into corporate punctuality and innovation. Middle East, bazaar culture, trade as community lifeline rooted in trust and negotiation. Africa, Ubuntu economy, I am because we are, cooperative farming and shared wealth. Europe, Protestant work ethic shaping punctuality, thrift, and industrial discipline. Indigenous North America, hunting, farming, and trade tied to seasons and ecological respect. Global deaf culture, strong entrepreneurship in deaf-owned businesses with sign language networks as economic ecosystems. Did this podcast resonate with you? Are you an educator or a higher authority with the ability to influence educational policy and reform? If so, I encourage you to share this podcast as widely as possible within your connections, and do share and subscribe to this channel. This channel has lots of playlists and educational psychological content with a focus on how to improve all systems of education, corporate culture, and many such topics. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next podcast.